and welcome back to From the Depths. Here we have our little fleet that we have constructed over the course of the previous episodes. I've tweaked the graphics settings so that they're looking a little bit nicer. I didn't enable the graphics ocean, which is a setting in the graphics tab. It basically what it does is it allows the ocean to kind of move around the ship a little bit more, and it makes the waves look a little bit better, but it also makes the graphics card run a kind of hot, so I'd prefer not to do that, but if you guys really want me to, I will turn that on. I do not have a potato graphics card. I can run basically any game at basically any setting. What I have planned for today is the Deepwater Guard over here on the right side of this map. They are amassing a small force, and it looks like they are going to actually come down here and try and take this strait back from us, which we're capturing. They are preparing a couple Tortugas, Marauders, things like that from this fishing hole base. I'd like to stop them before they actually get here, if that's possible with our fleet here. We do have plenty of materials and salvage to go and grab. Actually, that's quite a nice bit of salvage there. But I've also wanted to scrap this starting fortress for a long time and really make something that we can actually use for a long time to be able to control our resource points. So basically a small gun like this cram cannon, or maybe an advanced cannon setup, minigun turret, something, radar, material gathering and storage, and have enough armor so that it can kind of take a hit before it gives a hit. I'd also like to have a small repair bay on each one of these separate bases as well. Another good thing about having multiple bases like this, or smaller bases at least, is that they can all defend their little outposts and resource zones without having to take too much material of their own, and also being able to defend control points and specific points all around the map, so we wouldn't just have one or two at the starting couple of resource rings here. We would have them all across the map. And if I actually bring my HUD back, for whatever reason, the resource ring is part of the hide HUD, which I guess makes sense because it is kind of a big giant eyesore in the middle of the ocean. That doesn't make sense. Why is it a floating ring? But, hey, you know what? It's a pretty good indication of where you are in the world as far as resource zones are concerned. And we do have quite a few resources to work with to build this thing. So over here on the front line, I'm going to send these couple of ships after they're done capturing this specific block here, of course. I'm going to send them further up the channel, and hopefully, I don't know which way is further up. It's west is that way, so then east is that way. So send them further up the channel over towards these enemy combatant forces over here that we've got. And they should be pretty well squared off against them. These missile cruisers are very good against every type of enemy. This battleship is good against every type of enemy, but it's better at taking hits than these things. So then that should mean that this fleet will stay alive for quite a long time. And they should be able to take any resource zone that we need. And we do have plenty of resources just from killing the Deepwater Guard. They are very, I don't want to say an easy faction, but they're kind of more of a laid-back faction. Like, you can have a kind of a whatever wooden boat type thing, and they'll actually die to it. Which, I can understand the game design, because it is the first faction that you meet after all. And there's a lot of other. Oh my! There's a lot of other factions up here and all around and everything. They're all fighting, and I really would love to get some of my materials worth out of those. But I think we're gonna have plenty of encounters with those guys as the game progresses and as we go along in this campaign. So I'm gonna cut back once we have either captured this or we have a battle incoming with an enemy force here. So I have this little sky fortress type thing going on here that I've constructed just off of the main fortress here. This will be our new resource gathering and defense platform type vessel. It won't be too complicated. Hopefully I'll just have a couple of simple guns on it, maybe some AA, maybe some anti-ship. Probably missiles be the easiest thing to do. Definitely I'm gonna keep making it out of wood here because, well, wood is definitely gonna be the cheapest resource use of our little craft here. The design of this is most likely going to be a little bit of a cylinder kind of thing, just kind of not too tall, not too large and wide and expansive. Just going to have enough for resource gathering, just going to have some turbine type things. Not too sure how these actually work, but hey, you know what? I'm going to try it. I've never tried building a fortress before. Hopefully, it won't be too difficult, but I'm going to try my hand at it. If you have any suggestions, please leave it down below because I always take into consideration what you guys say. I've done that in the past. I'll keep doing it well into the future, and I do appreciate any tips that you can give me about any game that I'm playing, whether it be From the Depths, Minecraft, whatever. I don't even know if I've played Minecraft on the channel. I don't believe that I have. Um, but yeah, any tips, suggestions, tricks, stuff that I should probably know but don't. Even if I do know, I will gladly take the tip anyway because tips are always good. So yeah, if you have any tips, leave them down below. Comment section is always a good place for it. I do look at every tip. Well, I do look at every comment as well. So don't think that I'm not going to see it. I will see it. I will definitely understand what you're saying, or if I don't, I'll ask you about it, and I will take it to heart. I always love learning new things about games that I play. Don't want to fill in the entire sky, no do I? No, game, thank you. But I'll do most of the building for this particular turbine fortress style thing on camera. I'd like to say that everyone's gonna not enjoy the building aspect of this game, but I'll probably leave a time card somewhere like right now that you can go ahead and skip to, or that you can go ahead and so if you don't want to watch me build this turd of a structure. Okay, so for everyone that's just stayed on and not clicked to the time slot, time card, whatever you want to call it, you're welcome to continue watching. You're welcome to go ahead and click that time card type thing that I have there. But if you're here for the building, then you're here for the building, and I will not disappoint. I promise to give you some lovely little building videos here. I'm gonna definitely keep most of the ship out of wood. Wood is, again, the least resource intensive material. A little bit of frame stutter there. Yeah, I get those every once in a while. Not quite sure what the part of the game is doing that. I don't know why the game stutters like that so often. I just know that it's a thing that's in the game, and I don't want to bother trying to fix it because I don't want to break my game files. But hey, you know what? I'm going to live with it. I'm going to try and record at least as high quality content as I can. It's a bit of a poopy thing that you have to deal with as a viewer and me as an editor because I like editing my videos. I enjoy it now that I actually do it. And, quality reduction, I don't like reducing quality of my own videos. I do it if I am doing any sort of quality reduction, it's for my hard drive's sake or my solid state's sake because I don't have a whole lot of storage space left on it. I'm hoping to get more storage soon so that I can play more games and have more space to actually record videos on. And see, there's another stutter there. I don't have this problem in other games. Like I said, I'm not working on a potato here. This is a nice PC setup that I have. Spent around $1,000 on it. In case you're wondering, my hardware specs are, as of the moment, I have a Ryzen 5 3600X, which I have made sure that the overclock works on, so it is at around 4.2, I think, gigahertz right now. So that's not the issue. My graphics card is an RX 5700, just the regular edition, but it's XFX's model, I believe. So it looks pretty nice. I I looked on all over the place and I said, you know what, this is the best looking card, and I like the price on it. I got it on a Black Friday sale, late 2019, so I am happy with it. And I have not had any problems with it, aside from a few driver hiccups here and there. And dang, that stuttering is really annoying. I'll try to edit around that if I can, but if I'm in the middle of a sentence that I'm saying is important, I really kind of can't do anything about that. So I do apologize in advance for anybody who is like, yeah, I hate you, you stupid idiot. You keep making the stutters happen. Just know that I can't really do that much about it. I could try to turn down my graphics settings, but then the game would look like, well, it would look definitely more potatoey than I would love to have it. But hey, if you guys want the stuttering to go away, I'll try to do a few different things. Just tell me in the comments. That's the place that you tell me stuff. I gotta know, and if you don't tell me, I I probably won't know. So what kind of power source does a station fortress type thing need? I don't really know. I know it needs these turbine things to stay in the air, but I don't know what it needs as far as power is concerned. Um, could just try to use like RTGs or a battery or something. I don't know. I never built one of these things before. Um, yeah, I guess I'll try to use these. I think, dang, those are expensive. But hey, you know what? We got a war to win, so expense is not my concern at the moment. Batteries. Yeah, that is really bad with the stuttering. I'll try to fix that by next episode. Um, how do we do battery stuff? Electric engine? I don't know. Yeah, that looked like it worked. Are these fully charged? I don't know why batteries come fully charged. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. As a Space Engineers player, that is sacrilege on my religion. I will not have it. I mean, I will have it. I don't mind that the batteries come fully charged, even if it feels a little bit cheatsy. I don't mind. It's not a really concerning thing for me. I kind of eh, eh, yeah, yeah. That's my reaction to that, pretty much. Okay, so we're gonna have a little bit of ammo storage, then a couple guns on the top here, maybe some missiles. Probably not anything too advanced. I'm not thinking that these are going to be in a frontline battle ever, but if the enemy does kind of sneak up on me and they're like, oh hey, we're going to attack this, then they might as well have some decent protection. Now these corners here, I'm thinking these are where the weapons are going to be if I'm going to do either a tiny kind of advanced cannon build or maybe a small cram cannon build. Probably not cram cannons, they're slow and they don't work against all enemies, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that they're just not as good as advanced cannons. I mean, it's kind of in the name, advanced cannons versus cram cannons. I mean, it makes sense. So I'm gonna use advanced cannons in this build and some missile systems as well. It'll just be a lot easier and it'll be a lot more cost effective as far as actually keeping the ships going is concerned, because advanced cannons, while they're a little bit more expensive and a little bit more time consuming to construct and maintain, they're just better in the long run, resource wise. At least in my opinion. I don't know if everybody shares that view, but that's my opinion and that's my take on the subject. Not thinking too much in the ways of a citadel. I'm not really gonna do a citadel. I think we'll just have some armored plate here in case something, an explosion goes near, then it won't just blow up the ammo barrels and destroy everything. I'm thinking just the most basic protection that you can have on a fortress or a ship of any kind, really. I'm thinking that this isn't going to be too costly as far as resources are concerned. Let's check. 12,000 resource. Not too much, not too little. It's going to be something that's going to suck to lose, but it's not going to swallow to lose, as you might say. I'm going to go ahead and put the top deck of this on, and I'm going to cut back once the guns are in place, just so I don't have to, murderify your boredness with that, and then I will finish the rest of it, hopefully on camera here, as I continue along in my building process. And I'm back. These are what you may recognize as the battleship turrets that I have on the little pre-dreadnought that's over there somewhere. These are the main guns. They work pretty well against enemy targets of all sizes and all shapes. Now, they don't exactly fit in the hull design that I have here, but I don't really expect this. Again, I don't expect this to be a frontline unit, but I expect it to be able to defend itself from an enemy that is attacking it. I don't have a mainframe, which is why these are red. We'll fix that in a few minutes here when we're actually, taking the AI and systems and putting them in there. The ship itself is sustaining by these thrusters, which is good. I do believe that means that this RTG system is working. And in the actual corner here, it says that power is working. And that hopefully means that the ship won't fall out of the sky when you're using it. Now these turrets, I have them set so they shouldn't hit each other, but I haven't tested that yet, so I'm going to actually grab my character if I can find the right button to do that. I'm going to bring them over here, and we're going to test whether these turn and all that good stuff or not. So it looks like they actually turn pretty well. Do they load? No, they do not. I wonder if that's an ammo issue. Let me check. Oh, right. We are going to need an APS shell system. I always forget about the APS shell system. It's kind of weird and exclusive to this game. And that's another reason that I love this game is you can make your own freaking shells. How great is that? I mean, what other game allows you to make your own shells? I believe those were taking a 4-meter shell. These are 4-meter autoloaders. 4-millimeter autoloaders. That would be an interesting prospect, now wouldn't it? Alright, so I've seen things about if you don't have enough gunpowder casings, then your millimeters, you can't go above 250. I can't get the cannons to go above 250 millimeters for some reason. I don't know what it is, whether it's I don't have enough gunpowder in my ammo slot, which is something that I've seen. I don't know exactly what my problem is. I just can't get them, no matter what I do with autoloaders or clips or any sort of magazine upgrades. I just can't get above 250. So if you have something that'll help me, please put it down in the comment section. I don't know. I just want a 500mm minigun type thing. That's all I want. Alright, so let's see. We have gunpowder casings galore. I'd like I think hollow point head's probably going to be one of the best, because armor piercing is pretty good. Medium strong armor, and for most shells with a penetration depth fuse. Actually, let's see the armor piercing head. I'm going to take this, make sure it is at 236, which is our caliber of our actual guns. 2,000 meters per second muzzle velocity. I don't even know. Is that like Mach 6 or Mach 7 or something? These are basically like rail guns, but they're just normal gunpowder based shells. I don't know what the best shell type is to use. I think we'll go with a more AP focused shell, so maybe an AP-HE type of build. Let's see, penetration depth fuse, give me, and then you, sir, you can go depth attained before shell explodes. Let's go 4 meters, so that's 4 blocks in, because 4 blocks in is probably going to be pretty good. This, that doesn't matter, I don't think, if you have this set. And then for the actual warheads, we're at 1700 meters per second, so I don't want to go too parts heavy as far as this is concerned. I'd like to keep a lot of gunpowder in here so that we can actually have a really high top speed, because that helps us a lot at the smaller caliber that these guns are at, just because if it's going really fast, even if it's tiny, it's going to do a lot of damage. So let's try to put on some high explosives. 1136. I just don't know if that's going to be enough speed. That's a lot, but should we take away the HE warhead, or should we just keep it and suck up the extra shell velocity loss? Because what is it? 1163 gunpowder casing, 1381. Is that 200-ish meters a second really worth the loss of high explosive? Because it could penetrate farther, but it's not going to do as much damage. You know, if it can penetrate, that's great, but if it can't do damage once it penetrates, then it's useless. So we'll throw on the extra high explosive warhead body when it's in the actual ship that it's hitting. It'll actually go in there. It might not go in there as much, but it's at least going to cause damage, because you can't have damage without penetration, but you can't have or you can have penetration without damage, but that's not very useful. So we're going to go with that. I think that's going to be good. Please tell me I don't know how the shells work in this game. Never even had a game that has custom shell systems, which I can really respect and appreciate from this, what is it, 3 gigabyte file game, that it has all this stuff, and you have to assign the individual ammo intakes, which is also kind of weird, but kind of cool. It's another aspect of this game that I really enjoy. I know I'm blabbing on and on about how much I love this game, but I just can't say it enough. And we have no shells, possibly? What is going on here? Where's my firing piece? Tell me. Not enough ammunition and storage to reload. Thank you, ammo intake. You are smarter than the average calculator. Resources. Ammo barrels. No, not the pause menu. Oh yeah, speaking of the pause menu, I really quick want to, we can't put any back here. I really quick wanted to express what I'm actually doing in the campaign as far as the difficulty is concerned. So I'm going to go ahead, where do we go? Options, graphics settings, by the way. I don't want to turn this on, it'll make my graphics card melt. These are the settings that I have right now. I don't know if those are stock or not. I tried messing with those before. I couldn't get something that I really liked, but you can get this game to look much better than I have right now. I'm just not. So I have damage difficulty at 100% because increasing damage, if you're doing it, if you set it lower, like you'll do 25 times damage if you set it to 5, which I don't like the idea of them not being able to touch my ships. Actually, I love that idea. What I meant to say is that I don't like the idea as far as cheatiness is concerned. That just feels, it feels like a dirty, rotten tactic, because the AI can't do anything if you're that, and then you can't do anything if they have 500% the damage that they should, which, you know, you can get like one-shotted by a certain type of ships that they have. That would be absolutely ridiculous. I have my growth factor on 35%. I actually thought that I put this at 100%. I wanted this on regular. There we go. 100%. Resource given by destroying an enemy, 10%. I honestly think that 10% is not, even though it's like maxed, it doesn't feel cheaty. The reason being is that if you actually, in real life, if you went and you sank, or if you shot down an enemy aircraft or a plane or a ship or something, you can get a lot more than 10% of their resource back. You can get pretty much everything that isn't vaporized, and you can melt it down, or you can reuse the components. So I thought that 10% was pretty fair, especially because I don't know how this game works. Again, this is like literally the first time that I'm playing this game, is this campaign. And then this is the last thing, the combat, which I think is the AI, the ship selection, because every faction has a couple ships that it can pull from to actually send out and fight you with. That it can actually send out and fight you with. But this is the, I guess, the setting as far as the difficulty of the ships is concerned. So if I set it up to 3 here, it would be giving me like, oh, I'm going to give you the Yamato. Or if I set it down to 1, it's going to give me something more like, oh, it's a little cruiser, a little destroyer. I actually kind of want to put this up to 1.5, just because the ships that I've been getting are pretty easy against my spammy missile cruisers. I'm sure I'm gonna regret doing that, and I'm not gonna make this easier on myself once I put a setting up like this and say yes, I'm doing this. It's staying up. I don't go. You know what? I'm feeling like an idiot today, so I'm gonna put it down to this and have like garbage against me. No, I'm gonna keep it at 1.5. If I feel that it's too easy, or if everybody in the comments feels it's too easy, we might just go up to 3 there, hey? But for now, let's keep it at 1.5. It's around halfway to 3.0, so I think that'll be a good first run kind of thing, where if I don't do something or if I don't build my ships right, I will lose them and I will lose badly. But if I build my ships properly and actually try to get them to work good, then it'll actually work nicely, and I won't have to, you know, worry about losing everything. But I have to be smart. I can't be stupid. I want to be smart about how I'm playing this game. Just because I've been playing games stupidly my whole life. I'd rather actually do something not stupid with this game, which I am doing by clipping into everything and messing up my camera angles. I'm sorry, I suck at videos. I'm not a content creator. I'm really not. I'm just kind of a guy who's like, you know what? Why don't I do some YouTube? I have a computer now. It's great. Everyone will love it. Sure, whatever. And here we are. I hope you're enjoying this rant, by the way, of rambling on about this and other nonsense that I do. I think I'll cut back just because this is getting a little bit tedious. I'll cut back when I have something interesting to show, or a battle, or anything interesting happening. So please forgive me for being a boring person. Okay, welcome back. I have completed most of the structure here. I do have this giant tower here, and in case you were wondering, yes it is a completely, utterly, and downright dangerously overexposed bridge, because what else kind of bridges are there in this game? Or any game for that matter, or any series of any kind, any TV series, anything really. There's always an overexposed bridge. So I figured, why not take it to the next level? This is ridiculous. This is why I love playing engineering games, because you can do that and you can get away with it. I'm pretty sure that this will work, and you can actually control the ship from it. So, you know what? I'm happy with this. Now, I did set up the AI, so these guns will fire on their own. They'll target, they'll be able to shoot, they'll do all their fun stuff. I have all the AI kind of just set up exposed here. Again, I don't really expect this to last that long in a fight, but it should be able to handle itself. Now that there's enough ammo in storage, these guns actually do load and they do fire. If I grab my character here and then go into third person, I can control the weapon and I can give it a test fire. These are those shells that we custom made earlier together. See what they can do. Oh yes, 5,000.89k explosive damage. So it does look like it does work. Let's fire again, shoot some more of our own base, because it doesn't really matter what I do with this base at this current time. I am going to scrap it eventually, probably pretty quickly here. So that does work, and there are 2 of these. May add on some sort of AA gun later, but I'm going to leave it as this for now. It's got a nice little antenna here. We can kind of scope around a little bit, at least, more than the basic detection, visibility detection range, which is not very far in this game. We should be able to see at least around the resource zone and a little bit beyond, kind of here-ish, just due to its height. I'm going to make more of those special little spy balloons over there that I have, I actually have it positioned right here at the enemy front line. These guys are getting awfully close, and then they always turn around. I don't know why they're turning around, but they are. I'm not going to worry about it. As long as they're not attacking our fleet, we will be fine. I think that this is pretty good as far as our fortress for basically all the resource zones is concerned. I haven't put resource gatherers on yet, or any material storage or anything like that. I've just kept it as this, and this is costing around 45k resources. So all in all, not that expensive, because considering the starting fortress is about the same exact cost, and its guns are, well, that, and that, and that. That's I think this is going to be a lot better. I haven't put any of the material stuff on again because I haven't gotten around to it yet. And actually, let's do that right now. Stop babbling about it and actually do something about it there. Yeah, I'll do something about that. I will come back when the fortress is completely done and we can go ahead and scrap this and then we'll call it a day. How about that? Does that sound good? I hope it sounds good because it's what's going to happen. Alrighty-o. Now that the resource fortress here is completed, we can start deploying this across the map. So at the other location over here, at the Sinner's Outpost type location, I know I built the cargo ships last time, but I feel that these resource things, these kind of fortresses, are going to be a better alternative because they are cheaper to run and maintain. But I am going to keep the cargo ships. I am going to keep building the cargo ships because in this game you have to have materials and you have to have shipment of materials and also shipment of fuel to the front lines. So if my ships are, say, over here fighting a battle with a couple of these guys and they kind of run out of material or they don't have enough scrap to keep going and keep repairing, like right now they could use quite a bit of material because they're running a little bit out of it. I could have a cargo ship and I could send it up relatively quickly to the front lines. And the cargo ships will also double as kind of a fast response resource zone unit because they can get to a resource zone faster than I can build a fortress. And they also are probably a lot cheaper, I'd say. And then you can actually just have them sit on a resource zone and suck it dry, if you will. Now, going back to the... Oh, mine, it's night. Okay, well, it should be day soon. Whatever reason this game has for doing it, the nights are really short and the days are quite long. I will not complain about that. That is a good feature to have. We are showing our resource stuff. Let's not do that. It kind of looks a bit strange. And now I think we can rather ceremoniously scrap the starting fortress. Oh, starting fortress, how good you were to me. Got a lot of resources collected from you. Got a lot of resources out of the ground with you. Actually, speaking of resources, let me just fix the material storage in here really quickly. And I will cut back when that is done. Alright, now that that is done, we can go ahead and scrap the old starter fortress. Make sure my guy is not on it, which he's not. Good for him. He won't get... I don't know what actually happens if you're standing on a vehicle. I would assume that you just fall off it once the block under you dies. I'm going to check to make sure that we don't have to have anything else here. I'm going to make sure that this starting fortress is...
Receiving.
No, not the resource fortress. Make sure that that's the starting fortress we have selected.
Receiving.
It is, okay. Now we don't want it to hold anything, so get rid of all your material. Give it all to the resource fortress, which is here. I mean, that's okay. Once we scrap it, it'll give the resources back to the resource fortress, and if not, it'll just stay here as a pile of whatever until we can actually build more cargo ships and more ships in general out of this this resource fortress here. So let's say I'll let everybody gaze upon the glory of the starting fortress one last time, and we can start the scrapping process here in just a minute. And get a good screenshot, good screensaver there. Actually, why don't I thumbnail that? Because it's cool, and because everyone wants a picture thumbnail, right? Well, anyway, say goodbye to the starting fortress. This is the last time we will see it intact. What a beautiful craft she was. Sending out our little wooden minions and our battleship minion. One block at a time, and also collecting all the resources from the resource zone. One material at a time. So say goodbye to the starting fortress as she gets scrapped forever. That was rather explosive, I will say. And there she goes, sinking to the depths of the sea. And our new pancake fortress looking thing is here. Looks like a stack of pancakes. I don't know if that's something to name it or if that's just kind of a nickname sort of thing. I don't know. Either way, it's kind of nice. It works. It'll be sucking materials out whenever the material storage in here gets low. It is full at the moment. So once we run out of materials from building ships or supplying fuel and ammo and things like that, then we can actually start sucking out the materials from the resource ring again. But until that time, we will stay here. We will build as many of these as humanly possible and bring them around the map to our various resource rings that we managed to collect through destroying enemy outposts and such. And let me bring this down a little bit. I believe it's L. Yeah, so let's bring it just into the water, so then I can actually get up on there with my character if I need to. And it's not going to be taking too much power, because I believe as these fortresses work, the more height you have, the more power they take. I'm not 100% on that, but I do believe that that's how it works. Make sure that both of these cannons do actually, turn and function. Okay, this one fires. I don't know why it's not turning. Let me see. So you're connected. I'm next to it. That one doesn't work. That one does work. I'll figure it out in between episodes. It'll happen. Trust me, it'll happen. But I think that's a good place to leave it off on this episode. No battles, unfortunately. The Deepwater Guard are being a little bit cowardly with their forces. We'll probably force their hand next episode. But until then, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'd like to invite you to another episode of From the Depths campaign whenever that occurs. And for now, this is goodbye.